It's a great honour to represent Australia in international forums, and this is an important engagement that we will have. And the fact that I am leading a very large business delegation speaks to the importance of the economic relationship between Australia and China.
You ever get that sinking feeling like you're being sold out by your own bloody country? Well, buckle up, mate, because Australia's being played like a fiddle and Anthony Albanese is strumming the tune. This isn't just another boring political yarn. Nah, this one's personal. It's about how a so-called Prime Minister flew to bloody China, danced around Taiwan like it was a landmine he didn't see coming, and sold the rest of us down the river with a cheeky grin and a business card. You reckon I'm exaggerating? Wait till you hear what really went down. Before we unpack this Albanese-China disaster, where Albo dodges Taiwan, flatters the CCP, and hopes a Trip.com deal will distract the nation, smash that like button like you're erasing weak leadership from Australia's history. Subscribe if you're done watching our Prime Minister bow instead of lead. And grab the Make Politics Honest Again shirt, links in the description. Now don't get me wrong, I love this country. I love the red dust, the smell of a servo sausage roll at 2 a.m, and yelling at the footy on a Saturday arvo. But what I can't stand, what's turning my stomach more than cold VB on a hot day, is watching Anthony Albanese treat leadership like it's a bloody influencer gig. Smile, handshake, snap a selfie with some suits, and act like he just saved the economy. Meanwhile, the bloke won't even mention Taiwan while standing in the lion's den. You tell me that's not gutless. So here's what happened. Albanese jets off on this 6-day love fest to China. Yeah, that China, the one ruled by the Chinese Communist Party, all smiles and suitcases, acting like it's just a casual business catch-up. No drama. No politics, just jobs and growth, as if the rest of us are too bloody thick to notice what's really going on. Mate, we're not buying it. See, while Albo's out there buttering up Beijing, the rest of the world's biting their nails about Taiwan. China's making serious moves, militarizing, threatening, flexing its muscles in the South China Sea. And there's a Prime Minister refusing to even say the word Taiwan like it's going to make him spontaneously combust. The bloke's dodging questions harder than a tradie dodging tax season. It's embarrassing. Now before you jump in the comments screaming, oh, but trade is important. Yeah, no one's arguing that. But here's the rub. Leadership isn't about selling your soul for a trade deal and pretending it's diplomacy. It's about taking a stand when it actually costs you something. And Albanese? He's standing for sweet bloody nothing. As Gemma Tognini said, and she nailed it, it's not possible to lead from a moral perspective when you actually don't stand for anything. And mate, she's spot on. Think about it. What kind of leader goes to a totalitarian country, the same one spying on our universities, hacking our parliament, and threatening war with one of our allies, and then acts like it's a Kontiki tour? We didn't elect a tour guide, we elected a prime minister. But Albo? He's too busy playing nice, hoping that if he avoids eye contact with Xi Jinping long enough, the whole Taiwan thing will just sort itself out. That's not foreign policy, that's cowardice. And don't even get me started on that Trip.com announcement. That's right, the only solid win Albo managed to squeeze out of this entire China trip was a bloody marketing agreement with a travel site. You'd think the bloke discovered a cure for cancer the way they were carrying on. Tourism Australia partnering with Trip.com is something a regional sales manager should announce, not the Prime Minister of a bloody country in the middle of geopolitical chaos. It's like calling up your mates to brag about winning a game of backyard cricket while your house is on fire. Let's not forget, while Albo's clinking glasses in Shanghai, the Yanks are getting twitchy. America, our supposed best mate, is watching us cozy up to their biggest rival. We're part of AUKUS, remember? That's the security pact we signed so we wouldn't end up on China's dinner plate in 10 years. But now Albanese is playing footsie with the CCP, and Washington's left wondering if we're still on their side, or if Albo's just another fence sitter hoping no one notices he's doing splits. And here's the kicker, not only is Albanese avoiding Taiwan, he's avoiding everything with moral weight. What about the Uyghurs? What about human rights? What about China's surveillance state, their aggressive military posturing, their debt-trap diplomacy all across the Pacific? Not a peep, not even a passing comment. You know why? Because it's easier to nod, smile, and pretend nothing's wrong than to risk upsetting the dinner party. Because for Albanese, appearances matter more than principles. Now imagine for a second if any other Prime Minister had done this. Picture Scott Morrison hugging Xi Jinping while pretending Taiwan didn't exist. The media would have torn him to pieces. But Albo? He gets a free pass, a nice headline, and a glowing write-up from his mates in the press. It's almost like there's a double standard, eh? Look, I'm not saying we should go to war, but bloody hell, at least act like you've got a spine. The guy is supposed to be leading Australia, not getting led around by the nose. He's acting like a bloke at a barbecue who just wants everyone to get along, which is fine, until someone brings a chainsaw and starts swinging. That's China right now. And Albanese? He's handing them the extension cord. What's even more baffling is how out of touch this all feels. Aussies are doing it tough. Rent's up. Groceries cost a bloody fortune. Energy bills are through the roof. And all Albo can think about is taking a selfie with Chinese XX and spinning it as an economic reset. Reset? Mate, reset your priorities. People are choosing between heating and eating, and you're off schmoozing the blokes who bought half our ports and are circling Taiwan like it's a snag on a Barbie. And the burner phone thing? Yeah, DFAT literally had to tell everyone in Albo's delegation to not bring their real phones, because they knew China would be listening. That's how dodgy it is. You're walking into a spy nest, and instead of calling it out, Albanese is acting like he's visiting the bloody Gold Coast. Imagine being so desperate for a handshake that you ignore the fact you're being digitally stripped while you sip tea. Now let's talk about Albanese's leadership style, or lack of it. The bloke can't even lock in a proper meeting with world leaders without tripping over his own press release. Donald Trump straight up ghosted him. Joe Biden's giving side eyes. And meanwhile, our PM thinks a few trade deals and a tourism website will paper over the cracks in international diplomacy. Sorry mate, it doesn't work like that. And it's not just foreign policy. Back home, Albo's turning into the king of non-decisions. The bloke dodges questions like a backbencher in a scandal. Every time something controversial pops up, whether it's immigration, indigenous policy, national security, you name it, Albanese pulls a vanishing act. It's like he thinks if he doesn't answer, it doesn't exist. We used to laugh at politicians for lying. Now we've got one who won't even bother to speak. But here's what really gets me. The sheer bloody arrogance of thinking the public's too dumb to notice that we'll see the headlines about restoring the China relationship and cheer like a bunch of trained seals. Nah, mate, Aussies aren't stupid. We know when we're being sold snake oil. We know when a leader's out of his depth and clinging to photo ops like a lifebuoy. You want to know what leadership looks like? It's not posing in front of a Chinese flag with a thumbs up. It's standing in front of a camera, telling the truth and being willing to take the heat. It's calling out authoritarian regimes when they threaten your allies. It's defending democracy, even if it complicates off your trading partners. It's putting the country, our country, first. And Anthony Albanese, he hasn't done any of that. And I'll say it, because nobody else seems willing to. If Anthony Albanese won't speak up about Taiwan now, when it matters, what makes you think he'll do it when the bombs start falling? If he won't call out China for threatening our region, what makes you think he'll protect Australia when push comes to shove? If he can't even look uncomfortable in a room full of CCP officials, what makes you think he'll stand his ground when it really counts? Mate, this isn't just weak, it's dangerous. And I know some of you will say, oh come on, give the bloke a break. It's complicated. Yeah, life's complicated. But leadership is about doing the hard thing anyway. And if you can't do that, then step aside and let someone else bloody try. So here's the question I'm leaving you with. Do you feel like Anthony Albanese is leading this country? Or is he just following the script, hoping no one notices the set's already on fire? You decide. And if you're as fired up as I am, don't just sit there. Smash that like button like it owes you rent money. Subscribe if you're sick of gutless leaders who'd rather appease than protect. And share this video, because every Aussie needs to know what's really going on behind those diplomatic smiles. And if you're truly fed up, grab the Make Politics Honest Again shirt and wear it like a battle flag to Centrelink your overpriced servo, all while screaming at the telly wondering why our Prime Minister's too scared to say the word Taiwan. This is your country. Don't let them sell it off with a press release. Albanese, mate, if you're watching this, start standing for something, or get out of the bloody way.